Hi, everybody. It is November 19, 2024. It is the 19th. Yes, it is. Hope you're all doing swell, well, okay, decently. For those who don't even fall into that category, what can I say? You're not alone. Doesn't help, but just to let you know, you're not alone. Analog, Synth Player, and Tony Punch. Rage Against the Machine. Earthquake in Alabama. All right. Andrew Cruz, Geofactor 3, Angelos, Max, Agnes, Julio, Rex. Hi. Hi, everybody. Shauna Howard and BMCC and Dude and James B. Hi. Denise. Hi. And Barb in Ohio. Steve Ladner. Dogs have been barking a lot today. The neighbors' dogs. Patricia White, hello. Mark Anthony, hey. Hey. Hi, Mark. Crystal Ingram. I'm also very cold. Pedro, Silent Walk. Hi, guys. Yeah, I feel the cold inside that you just can't get rid of unless you dunk yourself into a very hot bath. So that's why I'm going to put this on. Oh. Idaho. Cold. Okay. So, yeah, radar. How about it? It's they're talking up a storm on the bomb cyclone, the atmospheric river coming into the Pacific Northwest, Northern California, and it seems to be making its way in. And I really hope that all of you are okay. Lots of rain, lots of snow, and winds, very, very high winds. So be very careful. And yeah, we've got, be nice to see the rain going into the areas where the fires are, but we don't see that happening. This is a nice rectangle of a storm. But I don't think that there are any there are 2 severe weather alerts. And both are in the Gulf. Let's see, severe thunderstorms capable of producing water spouts, extending 6 nautical miles south of St. George Island to 42 nautical miles south of South Tower. And you also have the same severe thunderstorms, 23 nautical miles southwest of Mexico Beach, which is the Panhandle. Yes, Panhandle of Florida. Mexico Beach is a beautiful, beautiful beach. So Mexico Beach, 42 nautical miles south of Empire Mica Wreck. Okie dokie. Well, yeah, I like everything else, pay attention to even these kinds of warnings because they could cause coastal flooding for you guys in the panhandle of Florida. Lots of frequencies. Lots of frequencies down here in Southern California, as you can see. Yeah, Doppler radar. Extremely low frequencies. There you go. Now for this. Well, let's just take a look at the forecast models. You can bet that this is going to get worse. And I hope that you guys in Alabama, the panhandle of Florida, Georgia, are doing okay with those thunderstorms that you have. But here we go. By 6 a.m. tomorrow, 6 a.m. tomorrow, lots of rain coming your way, lots of heavy snow for Northern California. And yeah, I'm just going to do tomorrow. So by 6 p.m., still a lot of heavy snow, Northern California, and lots of rain as well. Now, it doesn't look all that bad, but the winds could really take out power, take out trees, as you all well know. And I will put the link to the forecast and to radar. Pay attention. Those weather terrorists can be very sneaky. So I don't have much for you tonight, but what I do have is really just, I have some interesting things, I have some weird things, and I have this. Yeah, weather and its consequences for people to suffer. But what is going on? Manhattan wildfires. Another one breaks out. Breaking news.
We begin with some breaking news. Another brush fire sparked in Manhattan, this one burning along the Harlem River Drive.
Firefighters on the scene right now where it's been burning for about 2 hours. It's happening in Highbridge Park. This is in Washington Heights. Alicia Reed is live near the scene. Alicia.
That's right, Maurice and Christine. This is a very active situation right now. Firefighters continue to arrive on scene, and you can see the smoky conditions all around me. But behind me, you can see a team of firefighters that got here moments ago, and they are fighting the flames from the sidewalk. We could also see them through the brush putting water to the flames. We're waiting to get updates from the FDNY, but what we know right now is that the brush fire extends from West 155th Street to West 170th Street off the Harlem River, covering about 10 acres. We just got that update moments ago. And right now, Harlem River Drive South and 8th Avenue Harlem River Drive South interchange is closed to vehicular traffic. So there are a lot of cars having to turn around right now and maneuver the road closures. As you can imagine, this is the height of rush hour, and drivers can expect those delays and heavy smoke in the area. This fire comes on the same day the FDNY announced its new brush fire task force. That's in response to the ongoing drought and surge of wildfires across the boroughs. The team is made up of fire marshals, fire inspectors, and tactical drone units, and the goal is to help prevent future brush fires. The task force was in the Bronx today investigating a fire area in Van Cortlandt Park before this fire broke out, and the NYPD drone unit is above the fire right now. I want to show you just how dry the conditions are out here.
Okay, if you know this area, and do I have any New Yorkers in the chat, please confirm, verify what I'm saying. If you know this area, you know that It's not the drought. It's somebody setting these fires, or the plasma fires, which they do show smoke coming up from the ground. They call it smoldering fire. Okay. But there's a lot of them. New Jersey, Connecticut, New York. So, have you ever heard wildfire in Manhattan? All right. FDNY creates brush fire task force amid historic wildfires. All right, so they have the Jennings Creek fire 90% contained, which is good. So this is all about the task force. But really, come on, man. Something else is going on here. Someone is lighting this. It's not natural. Look at all of the ground. Smoke coming up from the ground. The intense heat of these flames as well. Okay. Homeless encampment erupts in flames under I-70 freeway. This is in Los Angeles. But there are a lot of homeless encampments erupting in flames. Is somebody setting the homeless encampments on fire?
From overnight as crews were busy last night, as Chris just mentioned. It was a little after 1:30 a.m. when the flames broke out at a homeless encampment under the 170 here at the Sheldon Street off-ramp. Firefighters were faced with stubborn flames burning through tents, chairs, tables, clothing, other items, and dry brush, all dangerously close to the freeway. CHP shut down all northbound lanes for about 30 minutes until crews were able to put the fire out. Authorities say there were no injuries, and though there was no significant damage to the overpass, it could have been much worse considering that it happened as the region experiences another Santa Ana wind event. This overnight video showing the winds whipping in Porter Ranch, where palm trees and street signs are swaying. A wind advisory now in effect through noon today for most of the San Fernando Valley, Santa Clarita Valley, and Santa Monica Mountains. The winds could reach up to 30 miles an hour with gusts of...
And you could lose power. But yeah, well, there's not too many Americans that like the homeless, want to get rid of them. Or it could be something sparked, a homeless person sparking a fire. But another house fire. Well, there's a lot of them. This is just one. And Simi Valley, and the dog was killed. And boy, there's a lot of these fires. People's homes going up in flames.
Now, a Simi Valley house fire is now out, but there is extensive damage. From News Chopper 4, you might be able to make out some of the smoke.
So a man and a child, they were actually able to escape this fire, but their family dog did not. NBC4's Lauren Coronado is live with what neighbors, Lauren, are calling what they saw as walls of fire.
Lynette, Adrian, good morning. Some neighbors described those flames, those walls of fire that you just referenced as being 20 to 30 feet in length, a scary situation. And right now you can still smell some of the smoke lingering in the air. But I want to show you what it looked like as firefighters rushed to put out those flames. It was a little after 8 o'clock last night at this home on Juniper Street near El Camino Real in the Santa Susana Knolls neighborhood of Simi Valley. Firefighters say there was a man and child inside the home. Both managed to escape. The man was hurt with what's described as minor injuries. We're working to find out how he's doing now.
I don't want to hear that the dog died again. So we'll go on to China. Another massive flooding in China. Wow. There's a lot of them.
province in China has faced catastrophic flooding in recent times, causing widespread devastation across its urban and rural areas.
Mm-mm.
Lasting mark on the region.
水鸟呢已经遭咬了，过咬了。
等待救援。
Wow.
By prolonged heavy rainfall, which caused rivers such as the Yongding and Hai to breach their banks. Low-lying areas and villages were particularly vulnerable, with water levels rising dramatically in a short period. In shared waterways.
现在这种长呢，这个岸其实都挖了。
Don't you think that it's questionable that we have so many areas that are experiencing the same kind of massive flooding? Well, I don't think a lot of people know. I don't think a lot of people know that this kind of flooding is happening all over the world. I mean, every day, pick a place. And Japan had another earthquake.
Japan continues to be shaken. A strong earthquake of magnitude 6.2 occurred in Japan at a depth of 10 kilometers below sea level.
10 kilometers, the precise signature for a HARP earthquake.
The earthquake occurred at a depth of about 10 kilometers, 6 miles, off the northeastern coast of Amame Ashima Island. Shaking was also felt in the central Ryukyu Islands and southern Kyushu. There were no immediate reports of a tsunami warning, but strong undersea earthquakes carry the risk of large waves washing ashore.
Earthquakes are happening, volcano eruptions, massive flooding. Well, we all know it's just going to go on. So I'm going to play some of this video. It's a 15-minute and 48-second video. Western North Carolina. Yes, again. And it's a good video, so I hope that you check it out, circulate it. People are really struggling.
flood came on the 27th, it took everything through my home. My 2 kids was living with me. And my mama's stuff is gone. And this is one of my kids. I got a little boy. And we barely made it out of that. When I woke up, the water was on my car. So kids got in the driver's seat, and I got in and put it 4-wheel drive, and I got out. And I went up my mom's. And so about an hour later, we watched it all go. I didn't get to watch it because I was devastated. My little boy was like, Nana, it's gone, it's going, it's going. I was screaming. But after that, they had nowhere to go. I rented. I've been there 6 years. Same as I've had custody of the kid. I adopted her. And
there's where your house
yeah,
was.
yeah. That's the foundation.
Here, this house washed off the foundation, taken away by the storm water.
And after that, they got this camper, and nothing's working on it either. So we're in the cold, and still in the cold. I'll use the buddy heaters, but I'm scared that the kids would knock something over on it and catch us on fire. So we're just trying to make it day by day.
And you said no electricity.
No electricity. They won't let us have a light pole because there's not no sewer system here. Even though if we got one of those outdoor
Porta
potties and have it pumped out every week, they still won't let us.
The neighborhood where Angela's home stood was once full of laughter, children playing in the warmth of home. Now it's a quiet expanse of empty foundations where memories linger in the ruins. Angela's home is gone, but like so many others here, her story remains. It's written in the debris scattered along the river, in the mud-covered earth where her children used to play, and in the camper where she now works to create a new life for her family. Hers is one of many stories here in Burnsville. A town reshaped by the storm, yet held together by the bonds of community. It's about rebuilding.
Replacing my windows was way easier than I thought.
We've saved up enough that we can go do the 2 bays.
Not just homes, spirit of Burnsville.
It was cold this morning, and they start school Monday, so I'm just trying to get it situated where it would be so rough. That's our story, and it's a sad story for a lot more out here too. And especially for the ones that lost their lives.
Especially.
We didn't know it was coming. We've had floods before. It's never done nothing like this, but this one was pretty bad.
If anyone,
can you imagine going through something like this and you're still on your land, but now a lot of people are finding it very difficult to even put their campers on there, their RVs or tiny homes, because they need permits. Oh boy, we have to stop listening to government. But it takes everybody, and we don't have everybody. And what, okay, I don't know about you, but I'm seeing an awful lot of people getting trapped This one, rescue underway of woman trapped in an LA tunnel. Okay. Ay.
You know what, Maria? We're going to give you the whole story as it would be. Yes, that woman's still down there inside that hole where all these firefighters are. Let's give you a quick update on what's going on. It started earlier this morning. This is an area at the corner of Bixel and 6th Street. You can see that demolition crew there. That used to be a couple of story concrete building that they've been demolishing for a couple of weeks. But apparently there was a stairwell that was still accessible and maybe even a portion of a basement. Now calls from somebody inside that hole described as an adult female uninjured this morning because she could not get out. That brought all this, what you see here now. Now, that's going to be the LA City Fire Department and LAPD. We know for a fact that 2 LAPD officers made their way down into that hole and maybe even 1 firefighter. Now, she is down there. We actually saw her moving around earlier on. I don't think she wants to come out, and that's part of the issue right now. But the fire department spending a lot of time making that hole safe for the first responders to get down there. Hopefully, they're down there talking to her right now, and it won't be a struggle to get her back up. But again, this all happening in the downtown Los Angeles area, in the Westlake district, to be very clear. And you.
Is it a homeless woman who walked down there thinking maybe she'd be safe, but they don't think she wants to come out? All right. Now, look, we need to smarten up. We need to smarten up. A real life example of how Democrats claim to save you money. And the economy is swell, okay? We have the best economy in the world, right? Okay. So the vehicle tax that they're implementing in New York City, you go beyond 60th Street and, well, now, originally it was $15. Then they put that on hold. They got a lot of blowback. Now it's reintroduced at $9. Okay. This is what this thing said, okay, when she was making her announcement, right? Governor Hochul. Here we go. These are Governor Hochul's words. From day one, I have made affordability for New Yorkers a top priority. You failed. Okay. I always have, and I always will fight to put more money in the pockets of everyday New Yorkers. That's why back in June, I stood up on behalf of hardworking families and simply said no. No to a new $15 congestion toll that at that particular time was just too much. You're so full of it. You're so full of shit. I posted on the $15 vehicle tax several videos. The only reason why was because of the massive backlash from New Yorkers. She didn't put anything on hold because she was so concerned, about New Yorkers. All right. But this is what they do, right? And I guess a whole lot of people just don't have a memory from, June till now, New Yorkers. Was she coming out saying, oh, we have to put this on hold? No. Okay. All right. So too many people are worried about high cost groceries, rent, childcare. These are real challenges to our families. As governor, it is my job to make decisions that take into account the needs of all working New Yorkers, because she loves them. So I made the decision to put the congestion pricing on pause while we devise a different path forward. Oh, how sweet. How sweet. I believe no New Yorker should have to pay a penny more than absolutely necessary. You heard that correctly. These are our words. It was $15 before, and now it is $9. That is a 40% reduction. This lower toll will save daily commuters nearly 1,500 annually. It will save New Yorkers because they're not paying the 15, so they have to pay the 9, and you call it savings? It's a savings? Oh, wow, it's hard to wrap your head around what we're living today. So, yeah, all right. They're not saving anything with having to pay $9. So they're not saving anything. You get it? Right? You get it. You get it. Yeah, this lower toll will save daily commuters nearly 1,500 annually. And that kind of money makes a big difference for our families. 1,500 in New York doesn't make a difference at all. So, this is what she did. Step 1, announce a $3,750 tax on commuters. That's at the $15. Step 2, announce a hold on the tax until after the election. Step 3, reduce the tax to $2,250. Step 4, explain how this was a new path forward. And proudly brag about saving New Yorkers 1,500. Preposterously stupid. But I guess maybe a whole lot of people will think, wow, she saved us 1,500. I don't know. Who is preposterously stupid? We are. We are. We are. She knows exactly what she's saying, knows exactly what she's doing. We're the stupid ones. And yes, spy drones. What? Spy drones? Unusual activity reported over Morris County, New Jersey, near military research facility. A swarm of mysterious drones circle parts of Morris County, New Jersey during the overnight hours, drawing the attention of local law enforcement. But where's the swarm? Can't see the swarm. All right, an Army Black Hawk helicopter also tracked on flight radar in the area. Multiple reports of the drones being spotted in Madison, Morris Township, and Mendham. Okay. People do know what our military is capable of, right? Okay. And you know that they fly these things and people spot them and they're like, oh my God, a UFO, a drone, a spy drone. It's why. Multiple drones now reported over Interstate 80 in the Roxbury, Netcom, Mount Olive area. And I see one. Okay. Well, okay. That's exciting. Not. Ooh. I just want to show you some more days of the sky here in Idaho. Does that look like a natural cloud to you? How about this? This very defined line right here. Yeah. Doesn't look it to me. Ah, look. Fried cloud. Fried from electromagnetic frequencies, all of the ripples that you can see. The same. These are not the clouds that we ever saw decades ago. Fried again. You can see the ripples hitting this cloud, microwaves. Like the defined edge of what I used to call corrugated. It looks like corrugated cloud that breaks up into little, oh, are they not beautiful or what? Subscriber here. These are her tomatoes. But I thought this was very unusual. Has anybody seen this on a tomato? Like it's almost like a perfect circle. But her tomatoes were good. Very good. Let me know if you've ever seen that, because I haven't. Really beautiful. Real food. Okay, so here we go. Yeah. You know, not a live goes by that I'm not listening to the buzzing or getting skewed vision or the high-pitched tones in my ear. What are we breathing? Black carbon dust. So it's quite cold now, but having looked at the week's temperature, or the 10 days, it's going to be going up to like 49, 50. Black carbon dust can do that. Very mild winter. Not that I've ever had a winter here, but it does seem that the temperatures, even today, I mean, it wasn't, once the sun went down, that's when the cold started. But you can see all of the pink in the sky. I don't know if you can see it, but it's there. And so I think the high today was 32. And last 3 or 4 days of the week, it's supposed to be, 45, 50. Look into black carbon dust or go to my weather modification playlist on Never Lose Truth. Here we go. And isn't it funny when you see these lines, right? And they intersect at some point, but they intersect and they stop right on cue where the lines meet up. And then all of this white stuff appears in the middle. and all of that stretchy stuff. No, it's not a cloud, not a natural cloud. Looks awful. Look at this. How nicely defined. Then underneath, completely concealed. What is this? Yeah, if you watch these, leveled clouds, watch them for a while, and you'll see suddenly they begin to build things. They start to rise, have platforms. Yeah, there was quite a bit of black carbon dust tonight, getting ready for the higher temperatures. There is nothing, I won't eat a tomato that I buy in a store. So actually having real tomatoes, which I haven't had in years, it was a very nice treat. Of course, you get all of the spraying, but that's the best that you can do. Look at this. Toxic crap. Very. I know you've seen these pictures before. Why I even bother, I don't know. Look at this. Nice, huh? It's awful. This looks like, and this wasn't tonight, this is October 15, but tonight was essentially the same. Shouldn't say tonight, it was like at 5. Well, very hard to maintain one's health today. If you don't know what lithium does, check out my weather modification playlist on Never Lose Truth. There's several videos on the lithium. How lithium is actually one of the ingredients for making cloud, but also to pacify. It's the double whammy to pacify the population. All of the microwaves. And when you're someone sensitive to this, not that those who are asymptomatic, doesn't mean that you're not getting affected by them. You are. Most people who are asymptomatic eventually become symptomatic, but a whole lot of people never attribute their symptoms to the ripples that they see in the sky, the saturation of microwaves, the saturation of electromagnetic frequencies. And when you're sensitive to it, it really does a number on the quality of your life, to say the least. Ripples, ripples, ripples. So yeah, I mean, when you see all of these ripples in the sky, just know that it's not just up there, but those electromagnetic frequencies also are down here. Invisible down here, but very visible in the sky. And affecting every cell in your body. And then the black carbon dust comes into play. Look at this. I don't understand how it is that people can't see this and are not horrified by it, but that's what we live today. Yikes. It's the weirdest formation of clouds. Even though this is not so weird, but I've seen some pretty like wow clouds here and everywhere else. Now I have heart palpitations. Wow. Yeah. Really? Okay. What might be the name of that cloud? And despite off the ground, all of the toxic and poisonous crap that you see, Idaho is still beautiful. Look at this. This is not a natural cloud. Right? People can't see that something is wrong here? Really? Could they be that disconnected from nature? I don't know. Maybe they're just ignoring it, choosing willful ignorance over reality and truth. Wow, that's dangerous. And they are a danger. Very much. All of the microwaves. That's a lot. Yeah, sometimes you actually feel like you're just being fried. Look at this. Look at this lovely design here. Wow. And the ionization of the cloud. Ah, yes. Beautiful, huh? And then the bizarre sheet. Looks like a quilt that's thrown into the sky, covering all of us. Yuck. Yuck, yuck, yuck. All right, enough of this. Enough of that. Just want to show you. This is a little weird, right? So apparently there was this painting of the 18th century, 1721, painting by Dietz Knudsen. I'm not sure if that's how you pronounce the name, but it's a little odd. Look, do you see? It's as if these guys decided to sit exactly like these men in this painting with the food, even with Mike Johnson. Everything is the same. How bizarre. All right. 4 fingers on knee, just hunched over, looking, holding up a glass. Man in the back, and arm on the back of the chair. And this guy looking a little, 4 fingers on knee, hunched over, holding up the French fries. Johnson, hand on the back. And this guy looking a little, Come on. They could not have taken a picture near exact without actually planning it. It's not a coincidence. Not a coincidence. It's weird, though. Got a lot of weirdness. All right. So, and yeah, again, here is Brian, the disturbing illusion. And I'm just going to play a few minutes, but this is your, for those who voted and support the red team. This is a recent November 17, 2024 tweet on Truth Social, Trump's social media platform. And he writes, we're coming up on the 5-year anniversary of COVID. And if you recall, well, it's under his, they always have somebody else doing the tweeting or whatever you call it on Truth Social. We're coming up on the 5-year anniversary of COVID. And if you recall, under President Trump's leadership, we had incredible public health policies. President Trump's unparalleled creation of Operation Warp Speed was one like we've never seen before. Wow. He hasn't mentioned all of the people who have died and who have had their lives transformed into a complete and utter nightmare. Never has mentioned that, but has made recent remarks about how great he was to get that, new product out as fast as he did. Wow. I'll link below to this video if you want to watch it. It's very sad. That's still, I don't know what it is, but blind trust, blind support. How about just be very careful, scrutinize these people, have your eyes squinted when you're listening to them and watching them. But that's the most important thing. Watch what they do as opposed to listen to what they say. Okay. Can't wait to put up your Christmas tree. You might be a narcissist. Okay. If you put up your Christmas tree too early, you might be a narcissist. Oh, let's just say the field of psychology has really just gone adrift. It's floating somewhere up in space that we would love to have a whole lot of those people floating with that field up in space. I know there's no space. Wait, you're a narcissist. Yeah. Christmas Day is more than a month away, but people, including celebrities, are already starting to get into the holiday spirit. How dare they? Decorating early is for a specific kind of person, whether you just reached for the tinsel and lights or put the full tree up. Don't be taking things out of your attic. Okay. No, this was never my thing, but I know that it is a thing for an awful lot of people. Brings them joy. Okay, well, yeah. They're narcissists. Psychologist Carmen Hara said that putting up your decorations early can reveal concealed emotions and subconscious behavioral tendencies, including narcissism. Narcissists derive a sense of high satisfaction from being the center of attention, from being praised and applauded. Okay. Oh, your birthday is on Christmas, Barb. Wow. Happy birthday. Wow. What a day. Mine's Christmas Eve, but yeah. You topped me. Okay, so it makes sense then. This is a quote of hers. Okay. It makes sense then that these character traits can easily be fulfilled by turning one's house into a winter wonderland for the entire neighborhood to admire. What do you do with people like this? What do you do, with these studies that actually, well, I don't know if it was actually published in a journal, but published on mainstream media. She said that on top of giving some a chance to show off, it also may give people the opportunity to portray a picture-perfect family. Well, I think most people love to portray their family as something that it is not, but yeah, I would never think that someone having a Christmas tree up means that they're wanting to portray a picture-perfect family. Fights and rifts are common in all clans, but some people feel the need to cover up the truth of what goes on inside their households with lights and tinsel in November. Holy shit. For the longest time, I really believed that I was the craziest. So when I come across things like this, I think, All right, you're okay. You're okay. You're really. And decorating early, it may be for some people filling a void to feel happiness when they otherwise wouldn't. Well, what's wrong with that? What is wrong with that? She previously noted that those who hang decorations before November might have trouble living in the moment. But it's not necessarily a bad thing. Oh, thank you. Well, I don't do it, but I'm just for those who do. If you're one of the few people who has had their lights in place since October, then you like to be the first to do things. You enjoy planning and executing well ahead of schedule. You also correctly anticipate the holiday rush and wish to avoid it. Or maybe you just happen to like the Christmas tree. Oh. Whoa. No, for a long time I wasn't sane. I had to work hard. I'm still working at it. But yeah, man, when I was younger, I really did think, because you know what goes on in somebody's house when they close the doors in that home? You never know. The house could look, well, it could look really like, wow, these people get to live in that kind of house. They must have a fabulous life.
More about the disturbing case in southwest suburban Homer Glen, where a 2-year-old girl died inside a home that prosecutors describe as deplorable. The inside littered with drugs and garbage.
Our Andrew Ramos spoke to neighbors in Homer Glen.
From the outside, this residence here along Thornapple Drive in Homer Glen may look like a dream home, but prosecutors say what was going on inside was a nightmare. The homeowner, Edward Weiher, appeared before a Will County judge today, where he was denied a pretrial release as prosecutors outlined a troubling case against the 49-year-old father of two. Weiher was arrested last week when deputies responded to a 911 call for a carbon monoxide leak at the home. What they found was 2-year-old Trinity Balin Weiher unresponsive and her father performing CPR on her. The child later died at a nearby hospital. Prosecutors suspect the death was the result of drug intoxication due to the amount of drugs found throughout the home. But
Great, huh? Okay. So there is an awful lot that goes on behind the closed doors. And who knows, maybe somebody in the family just needs to, look at something nice and well, that goes to her point that people are actually putting up the tree for the picture perfect family, the picture. Let's see the picture. But really, I just know people who, they really like Christmas. So leave them alone. Let them just like Christmas. And if we got it right, raising children, and a whole lot of us got it wrong. Come on, admit it. Got it wrong. Living in our society, yeah. So again, Dr. Gabor Mate makes a lot of very good points.
I always say to people, you get the first 3 years right, you can relax. If you don't get the first 3 years right, you will be practicing remedial parenting for decades.
In fact, maybe your entire lifetime. And that does happen.
Parents are taught not to pick up their kids when they're crying. Let them sleep it out. What lesson do they get? Their emotions don't matter. Children never need to attach. They need to connect with somebody, because without that connection, they don't survive. In the hunter-gatherer bands where human beings evolved, those attachments were with adults. And not just one adult or two adults, but with a whole set of nurturing adults. Now in our culture, we've deprived the kids of the parental presence for the most part. And the child's brain can't handle an attachment void. And in the absence of the parent or the nurturing adult, the child will fill that void with the peer group. And now peers become their models and their mentors and their templates for how to be, how to walk, and how to talk. And as that happens, the kids push away from the parents because they're more minded to belong to the peer group, which has different values from the parents. And the kid's brain can't handle that competition. So the brain of the child will actually choose the peer group over the parent group. And where that goes, you can see on Facebook. And you can see it in the teenage gangs. And you can see it in the increasing frustration of parents who've lost the power to parent. Because parents think that their power to parent comes from the fact that they have the responsibility and the strength and the wisdom. It doesn't come from that. The power to parent comes from the desire of the child to belong to you. When the child is driven to belong to the peer group, because we've taken him out of his natural context, we lose the authority, so we become authoritarian. And the more authoritarian we become, the more pressure we put on them, the more they resist. And now we label them with oppositional defiant disorder, and we call them bad and naughty kids. All they're doing is acting out their attachment dynamics. The essential template for the emotional development of the child, as well as for the brain's healthy physiological development, is a nurturing relationship with a mutually responsive adult. That means that every time I use the relationship against the child will actually undermine the child's development, because it makes the child insecure, and kids in state of insecurity are in defensive flight or fight mode, in which mode they don't learn anything. They just start defending. So I have a 2-year-old who's angry, and most psychologists and parenting experts will tell you, time out. In other words, what they're telling you is withdraw the relationship from the child as a way of threatening the child. And that threat will make the child comply with you. Well, the child may temporarily comply with you, but what have you taught her? You've taught her that the relationship is conditional. That they're only acceptable to you if they please you. That relationships are unstable and unreliable. That you're not available for them when they're most upset. And you say to them, when you're most unhappy, that's when I'm least available to you. And this is how parents are taught to parent. Just the opposite of what any loving parent wants to teach. I was always waiting for my kids to grow older when I could intellectually engage them, and now we'll have something in common. But the sheer state of being, I could never achieve with them. So the communication happens on a much deeper level. The real relationship doesn't depend on words. It depends on the capacity to be with. I welcome your presence. And I welcome you to exist in my presence. And I'm overjoyed to have you in my presence. That's what the child needs from the parent.
We need a whole generation of children being brought up in healthy, loving homes for us to turn around all of this nightmare, craziness, unhealthy, whole lot of unhealthy creatures. And when you don't resolve, this is true for the individual as well as the collective, when you don't resolve the problems that you have, everything gets worse. Everything gets worse. So, yeah. I'm going to head off. I'm feeling very out of sorts again tonight. And I do appreciate you guys coming in. Love to see you tomorrow. Be safe, everybody. Let's just take a quick look at radar again. Whoops. Yeah. Same old, same old. It's getting very hard for people, you know, some that I've spoken to are really feeling the wow, not realizing how sick our society is. Until recently. And it's really painful. And when you get that, you know, okay, the only way out, the individual needs to take responsibility because we've all contributed to this nightmare and we need to take responsibility, look back. Yeah, I've contributed. Okay, so that you no longer contribute. But here we are. All right, guys. Have a nice night. Be safe. Good luck. Good night and good luck. Wow. Okay, brain. Oof. Scary sometimes. All of you. Ciao.